Thank you everybody for joining us tonight and having the opportunity to witness the event Freelance through Success. Just a few words before we start the presentation. You guys are aware that due to the constantly changing business environment, especially nowadays, individuals have decided to build a bridge between skillful people and employers who need a short-term job to be done. And this is one of the reasons why freelancers have increased by 43% since 2018. If you follow us on social media, you probably already know that. One example of such bridge architects, if we can say so, are the Bonev brothers that we have tonight. Alek Bonev is an LBG alumnus, and together with his brother Daren, they built a freelance platform called Bachkam.bg. We're really glad to have the two of you guys tonight. And can you now tell us a bit more about yourselves and, of course, about your business?
For sure. Thanks again for bringing us on here. It's an honor for us to be here. Basically, today we'll be explaining to you about Bachkam.bg, one of the projects that we've been working on together. But before that, let's just give a quick explanation about ourselves. Actually, both of us were Canadian, Swiss, and Bulgarian. We're a mix of the three cultures. My education stems with, basically I've majored in business in AUBG with a concentration in marketing. I've attended the IU University in Spain. I wasn't the biggest fan of the system, the European system that they were giving. So I transferred over to AUBG, which was the American system that I'm used to for basically my whole life. Much better university in my opinion. The current work that I'm doing is marketing and business development in our family company Vaptech, which deals with renewable energy and heavy industry machinery. My entrepreneurial experience, I've co-founded a digital marketing agency in my second or third year of university. As well, I've basically freelanced for web development and graphic designing for multiple clients, including my brother, to help him with some companies and visions. Currently, we're developing Bachkam.bg. Another thing that I failed to include in here is that I was doing some internship in the family business already from the beginning of the second semester of my university experience. Now, quickly over to Daren.
So I have a bachelor's in business administration from the University of Central Lancashire. I'm currently doing an executive MBA in the University of Sheffield. Hopefully this year I'm gonna finish it and get done with it because I can't take it anymore. I'm sales manager in Press Assembly Technologies, which is a family-owned business. I have my own personal company that I opened when I was 19. I started trading small with oils. Then the whole era of the online stores came out. I opened an online store for car accessories, industrial oils, engine oils. Later on, I got into the real estate game. I started dealing, then with 2-3 friends, we opened a real estate agency. I've done so many, those are the three things that I'm doing now. And then if you see in the presentation, I don't want to go through everything. You can check it out. I mean, I've tried so many things, failed so many things, and very few have worked, but the ones that have worked, it puts that extra buck in your pocket. Let's put it like that. So it's nice. It's nice.
We'll be sending this presentation to you guys, so you can share it with whoever you want. It's not a problem for us.
Thank you.
So after university, basically, as I mentioned before, my second semester of university, I started an internship in the family business. Basically, I wanted to practice what I was learning in AUBG so that I wouldn't forget it. One of the things that I saw with a lot of students is that the second that a course would finish, they would kind of, evaporate it from their brains and they would never remember what they paid to learn. So that's one thing I wanted to avoid. I started a marketing agency with one of my best friends in the third year. Really interesting and really fun. We did marketing for a lot of fitness influencers and made some websites for jewelry companies and clothing brands. which was an interesting experience. But then I suddenly started turning around and seeing that every third person was doing digital marketing agencies. So I decided to pull out the game before people start criticizing the industry as a whole, which eventually happened a couple months after I decided to pull out. Then after university, I directly started into the family business with all of my knowledge from digital marketing and marketing concentration in the university with the help of Rosen Petkov. That was a real fun experience. 1.5 years after starting in the family business, we began making Bachkam.bg with my brother, which we'll explain to you in a bit, if you want to explain about yourself now.
Yeah. So prior to finishing university, I had already, when I was in the game with the oils, I met somebody who said, "Hey, you know what's a really good idea? Producing pellets." And that was the beginning of the whole phase with people changing their kutli, turning them into pelletni kutli. And I said, okay, that's a great idea. We were manufacturing in the family actually machines to produce it, so it was a logical next step. But long story short, things didn't really work out the way I expected them. 4 years I invested my time into that, but the experience I got was remarkable, like making a product from nothing and getting more orders than you can supply. It was just that's I think what made me today for sure. With the oil business, it was a company that Plama, maybe some of you know it. It was a company that was the first oil producer and only oil producer during the communist times. And basically for many years didn't do anything. And I said, okay, I want to do something with this. Changed the website, opened the online store, changed the image, etc., etc. Did some Google AdWords, some Facebook marketing, and I mean that was it. That was it, and it just kicked off. Then I was also dealing with insurances. I wouldn't advise it. It's definitely, I mean, it's okay if you have some friends that are willing to give you that extra buck, but it's such a prenositan pazar that I mean, it's not worth it.
What's a prenositan?
Prenositan is like an overloaded. There's way too many players in the game, way too many people that are offering exactly the same thing, and everybody is just like trying to cut off the other guy for the price. So it's absolutely pointless. I made numerous attempts in creating other things, failed a lot, made a lot of experience, a lot of contacts, but I can tell you that every business that I failed, it opened in some way the door to the next one. So that's something. Don't be afraid of failing, and just go with whatever feels right.
Exactly. And that actually, basically to get into how I got into business, it started off basically even with him, I think as well, when we were kids. Our father was always kind of pushing us to bargain with the people at the flea market in front of the Alexander Nevsky Cathedral. So we would always, you know, he would just say, don't go and accept the price they give you, try to bargain it so that you save money. That's one way to be some type of entrepreneur, let's say, cutting costs and saving. The real taste for business came actually when I started selling a bunch of, I wouldn't say junk, but things that we didn't really use around the house through OLX. And basically, I went from selling my Xbox to selling diesel and natural fuel burner that we had at the house, which was really interesting. So my theory for OLX is that you can literally sell everything. There is a buyer there for sure. And I made quite a lot of money, which unfortunately went into repairing a car, which never got fixed. So that's first lesson. Don't invest in liabilities. The entrepreneurial side came out when I developed that digital marketing agency. And basically I started that whole thing with my friend who was basically pledged to teach me everything he knew. And I came in not knowing anything. The only thing I kind of knew how to do was just to put on a smile and to convince people that I can do something. So that was an interesting one. And eventually, of course, with a lot of studying and whatnot, I actually learned a lot from that experience.
That's good, and that's how it should be. Even if you can't do something, it doesn't mean you can't learn how to do it. The internet opens the doors for everything.
Definitely.
And honestly, I'm really shy that we're talking about this. I mean, it's not like we're multi-millionaires yet or something. Just we've done a couple of things, and definitely we could share some of the little experience that we got. why did I do it? I mean, it's the same, I think, for majority of the people. It's the constant hunger for success, to improve your life, to have this financial freedom that everybody wants. I mean, I'm personally, everybody says it's to do good for society and whatnot. I really like, my main drive was definitely the capital. I mean, I wanted to go out and to do things. I wanted to see things. I wanted to not think about spending the additional money, and that's definitely what it is. But the truth is that I had read a quote once, and this actually made me start changing things over the past 2 years. Is Shaquille O'Neal? He said, "When I became a millionaire when I started doing things that actually made a change in people's lives." And that's something I never thought about before, and I really believe today that that is a fact. And this is when we got the whole idea with Bachkam, I really said, okay, this is something that will change people's lives and the way things work out if it grows eventually. So it could get there. And be very social, meet a lot of people, share ideas, whatever comes on your mind. Even the stupid ones could work. You never know.
Yep, that's for sure. For me, the digital marketing was a stupid idea until it started working. So then for the next slide, some advice that we would give. I think that one of the issues that I have is being too much of a perfectionist, especially when it comes to web development. Know your limits there and don't go too deep, especially when you're making your own business. If it's for a client, that's one thing. You always have to be a perfectionist. But when you're making your own business, don't go too deep. Launch it maybe at 95% and finish the rest when you start getting the feedback from the clientele and from people around you. So don't overdo and don't underdo. Don't try to guess if your ideas are going to work. Best is just to give it a shot if you think that there is a chance, because you might lose, you might gain some money, but at the end of the day, the experience that you get is, I'm pretty sure, is going to be more than you got in your first year or 2 years of university. For me, that's how it was, at least. Another thing that I personally recommend, I'm sure he'll agree on this one as well, is to start work and business while you are in university. You guys have a lot more time than you think, and you're learning things that you are able to actually practice because they're really fresh in your mind. And when you practice them, as I mentioned before, you end up remembering them.
Absolutely, I agree with that. Definitely. I mean, just the fact that you're meeting with people every day, talking with people every day, accumulating new information, this is when your ideas should be popping. Because when you get into an everyday job and you're working on a salary, you lose that global perspective, you lose the ideas, and I mean, you just start seeing things that are in front of you. And that's actually why I decided to do a master's last year, because I wanted to regain that global perspective. And what happened? Part of the idea of the renting, like Airbnb, of the stocks, that came up in my first class of observational behavior.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's what I wanted, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
And another thing, if you think that something is going to work, don't listen to anybody. Don't listen to your friends. Don't listen to even your parents, your brothers, whoever it is, and just go for it. Because you don't realize how sometimes even the closest people, because of God knows what reason, they're holding you back from getting to that next step. Don't listen to anyone. Just go for it. Throw yourself in. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah. And the last part that I added was to teach yourself to find opportunities. Read books, subscribe to business news platforms, just whatever information you can get so that you can teach your mind to start looking for those opportunities that he was mentioning just now. That's how you get into ideas and to look at actual problems that you can solve and make a profit from. That's my opinion, at least. So to get into Bachkam, Bachkam basically is a platform where people who seek help can connect with those who can lend a hand, as well as people who search for rentable goods to connect them with those who can offer them rentable goods. Basically, our mission is to create win-win opportunities by stimulating the local entrepreneurial spirit. Our vision is human potential at its best for a better life. We want to improve everybody's life with this platform in whichever way possible. And how are we going to do that? It's by creating this platform that serves the gig and sharing economy. So basically, we have a couple of segments here that we've analyzed, and social issues that we want to focus on. So the young people, one thing that we were mentioning in our discussion with you, Ivan, before we started this call, is young people need additional income. They need more experience, more job opportunities. They also need help sometimes for assignments. I'm sure that, I mean, in my university days, I was looking a lot on YouTube and watching some random Indian guy that was teaching me a crazy amount of things, which was amazing. And also, the next thing would be the lack of experience and the will to be gaining opportunities. We're kind of an open book, and we're looking for new venues to be going through. For the working class, these are people who have already gained a lot of skills, who are, let's say, between the ages of 25 and, yeah, you could say 55 to 65. They need additional income as one of the things that's very prevalent today in many countries. One income is not enough, and that's why both parents tend to be working. But even in some countries, even having two incomes from the mother and the father is not enough. So having that additional income adds a bit of more cushion on the family budget. So they need additional income. They have less time because they're working more. And so they need more help and have many skills and hobbies that they can be giving out and using. Also, they have a lot of things that they can give out to rent, because over time you tend to accumulate more junk in your house that you sometimes never use. For the elderly people here, actually, it could help a lot in our opinions, as they have quite low pensions in Bulgaria. And so this could be a way for the elderly people, being as skilled as they are, to find ways to use the skills that they acquired through their working years and through their hobbies outside of work, to be able to capitalize on them in some way. Also, they for sure have a lot of tools around the house, especially engineers that have retired. They have a lot of tools lying around that they can give out to companies or to individuals that need it for a single use and don't want to spend all the money on those expensive tools. So that's another way that they can make money. But the most is for them to still have a sense of life. I'm sure that we can, I mean, it's hard to imagine now, but maybe if we look at our grandparents, they kind of seem a bit of out of touch of society, because they're not participating in the daily routines that everyone does in the working life. And so this could be a way kind of to connect again to that style of living. Oops, just a sec. So the solution basically that we give to our users is that it's a user-friendly platform that connects task givers with skilled individuals, as well as people searching for goods that prefer to rent instead of buying, or just need it for a one-time use and don't need to buy it. And they connect them with those who have them and are willing to rent them out. So this is the idea of our platform. We decided to connect both renting and services, as in many times that we've seen together in many projects, we might find the person, but we'll need to find the tool to help get the job done. So not always does the person who can get the job done come with the tools to get the job done. In terms of a corporate solution, that's another thing that we have for the website. As we're growing a database of people who are willing to do part-time jobs, we are able to offer companies the ability to advertise on our platform part-time jobs that they're offering, and or to contract us to find people for their part-time jobs. The idea came from this as the reason that now, especially with the virus that's going around, a lot of companies want to look more into part-time jobs, as it's not a very certain time at the moment. And so when there's work, they need people. When there's not work, they'd rather just kind of have it more on a standby. And we help connect companies.
Yeah. For example, with the construction company that we signed a contract with, they currently have 200 employees, which are on a full-time salary in their thing, where 50 of them are actually high-paid employees that they cannot find every day. And 150 of them are everyday workers, like strongmen, let's put it like that. And for example, during the coronavirus, the first lockdown, they had like 5-6 weeks where they had no work whatsoever. And for those 2 months, they were paying salaries. And they're like, we have no income and only expenses. And if we manage to create a system in a way where we can hire the people through you, and only in times of need, they said that they will never even have one of the people on a full-time salary.
Yeah, it ends up being much more cost effective for them. And it also allows for the people who are working the part-time jobs to be gaining more experience in different industries with the skills that they have.
And it actually gives them the opportunity to make more money, because when somebody is on a salary full-time, he's going to be paid so much. But when somebody's in need to find workers, he's going to give a little bit more, but because he knows he's going to be saving money from, for example, next month, where he's going to have 1 or 2 weeks with nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So our value to the market is basically this platform that we have, where we offer opportunities to both the gig and sharing economy. The sharing economy also applies to businesses as well, especially in the heavy industry. Some companies might require tools for a single kind of a custom project that they won't want to buy because it will increase the project price, but they'd rather rent from another company that already has it. And so they can connect with that company who can rent out the machine to them. And so basically it's a user-friendly platform that focuses on giving its users an organized and seamless experience as much as we can. Of course, it's still in the beginning stages. But the idea of that is to make it easier to create their own opportunities and to promote and capitalize on their acquired assets. Could it be a rentable good or a service or a skill that they've gained over time? So one of the other things that we want to focus on, of course, is user security. We want to make sure that everybody who comes into this platform doesn't feel like they're going to get screwed left and right. So we have rating and review system between users, which is a double-ended one. When you complete a job, you're going to be asked to verify and to rate the person that completed the job, as well as the employer, so the one who gave out the job. The idea there is so that way, if the person doesn't do the job correctly and was kind of, let's say, not a very nice and good-hearted worker, or damaged something during his work, you can rate it and you can put it in his comments, and it will stay on his profile. While on the other end, if you're a bad employer and you're kind of nitpicking at every little detail and saying, this wasn't done right, blah, 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 or you don't even pay the guy, the other person the worker can rate you and say that you're a bad employer, and the next time that he offers a job, it's going to be less likely that someone's going to want to candidate for his jobs. So that's the idea. And we screen all of the services and the rent listings that come up on our website. The idea for that is that we don't want to have some inappropriate advertisements. Like one of the ideas that came to our mind was, for example, for prostitution online in Bulgaria. That's not something that we want to have on our platform. And some other items that could be dangerous, like firearms or something like this. So we screen them ourselves. We'll be getting a system to screen through that over time. But profile and credential verification is the next step for us, where currently at the moment, since we're a smaller user base, we only check pictures, names, phone numbers, and emails. But over time, we already have a system integrated, which we'll be unlocking once we reach over 1,000 users, where things could start to get a bit more hectic and fraudulent, whereby people are going to have to upload their identifications, and actually not forced to upload, but it will be it will be better for them and their user experience if they complete all of the user information, including uploading their ID card. So that way we can verify if something happens that's illegal or fraudulent, that we can have the identification of this person to use in such a case. So it's more secure. Just like to move the cameras because this thing is all over the place. So who does this apply to, and what can you offer? This is our question to you guys. I'm pretty sure that everybody has a uncle or neighbor or somebody that can come to your house and he can fix your lights, he can fix your floor, he can do your carpeting, he can change something in your car. This for us is the person who is basically an entrepreneur in this country and who can take a lot of advantage of this website. He has a lot of skills and he can upload all of them in separate listings and get more attention like this. So keeping this in mind, knowing that you can basically upload any skill or any rentable good that you could think of, I'd like to invite you guys to just think of and to say on this presentation, what do you think that you guys can offer as a service or a rent?
We had we had this one Mr. Kolov. Maybe we can even share some of the things at a later point if you want. This one individual came yesterday onto the platform and he uploaded 8 ads, like translating, text editing, intermediary, and I don't know what. It was insane. And this is exactly what we want people to do. We want them to get in there and to just take advantage of whatever they can offer.
Yeah.
Whatever you can give out, just go and upload it, because you never know, with the search engine optimization, somebody is going to be searching for you and they'll end up calling you, and you might have 2-3 jobs from completely different sectors in 1 week.
So does anyone want to give an idea what they think that they could be applying? No need to be shy.
Can I join in?
Of course you can.
For example, essay writing. There's a lot of people that could be like good at writing essays, even for students. I mean, that's still a job. It still gets paid. It's what a lot of people, I believe, are good in this university. So they can make use of that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Any type of rent that you can think of?
Well, most of us who live on campus actually buy a lot of things that they kind of need at some point, and then they don't need it, so they can just rent it out on Bachkam, like kettles, chairs that they buy and will never use again. A lot of stuff that we fill our dorms with and then never make any use of them after we graduate. So that could be something that applies to us students.
That's interesting that you mentioned chairs, because that's one of the other reasons why we included rent. We've made quite a few New Year's parties where we invited a lot of people, and it took us quite a lot of time to find tables and chairs. So that's actually something that gets rented quite a lot for parties and whatnot. So that's a good idea.
Yeah, you could turn it into a business. Go buy 10 chairs, upload it, and put them out for rent.
1 chair for 10 leva. When you rent out 3 times for 5 leva, you're already in profit.
And that's it.
If anybody else wants to jump in, otherwise,
Ask any questions?
yeah, any questions if you have.
Otherwise, I think it was pretty straightforward.
Actually, wait a second. That's another slide. Almost forgot there. So one of the things that we were asked to was basically to look for help from you guys and to give a stimulus. We can offer internships and certificates to whoever helps us. Right now, at the moment, we need help with digital marketing and content development mostly, but cold sales as well if anyone's interested in doing it. And if anyone's interested as well in Grave, which is basically an overall insurance company, we have, I think, 1 job position now?
Yeah,
one job position now for a team manager if anyone's interested in doing that. It's a freelance work, so if anyone's interested, they can contact.
Basically, this is the job. They offer pretty different insurances for life, for health, for business, and for real estate. And with this, they want the team manager to go in to learn whatever he needs to know about offering it and about the different products, and then to create his own team of 5 to 7 people. And basically, they're expecting him to get paid upon results. So like a broker, but it's not the typical broker where you're offering, what is casco?
Ivan, can you help
car
us?
Insurance?
Yeah, car insurance.
Let's put it like
that. Yeah, so that's it for Grave. For us, if anyone is interested in working with us, we'd be more than happy.
We definitely need cold sales. We have a bunch of people that we have a list of contacts that we need to call up, and we can get you a SIM card with 3 minutes and you can get started, and then we'll give you a reference that you worked in a call center. No worries.
Let me just check to make sure if that was the last slide or not. Oh yeah, well, basically, those are the partners and resources. So Bachkam, of course, is our resource. Sterasoft is the company that we worked with to make the website. And Junior Achievement, we're currently doing a program with them, which is the Beyond Acceleration, which is really interesting, by the way. I suggest it. And so basically, that was it. That's our presentation. And if you want to scan the code to get directly to the website, feel more than welcome to do so. It's in Bulgarian. Ivan, I think you wanted me to show you in English, yeah?
Yeah, since we have some international students.
Okay, just a sec. I have that already ready. So here we go. This is the website. Can you guys see the screen, by the way?
Yeah.
Perfect. Let me just close that. So let me translate this quickly. Look, Google has a lovely translation function. Bam. So there we go. This is how it looks basically. The idea with the pictures in the background is to show you that it's a very versatile website. You can use it however you can think of. So with the mission and vision, there's an explanatory video, which is in Bulgarian, unfortunately. But you can watch the instructions, which are basically instructional videos, how to use the platform, or you can find out more about us. Basically, overall, this is it. In the front page, we have services and rent listings that we have offered. Just to give you a quick idea of the different buttons. So the announcements is basically when you post a listing, then they go here, whether it's a service that you're posting or a rental good that you want to post, they come up here. So I can show you quickly how that is. So yeah, there's me, SEO optimization. Gotta fix that. So basically this is where I posted a listing, came up here. And so then the other side is this seekers. The seekers, basically, it's either you can't find something or there's something that's very specific that you don't think you'll find on the website. You can post a seeking, or here it's actually a listing that you're looking for something. So you post saying, I'm looking for, what could be, a mountain bike. For the weekend, I'm offering, let's say 100 leva for the whole weekend, whoever can give me a mountain bike. And then whoever has this mountain bike can go on this listing, knowing that you're searching for this. They can send you pictures and send you an offer saying, listen, I'll do it to you, but I have to give it to you for 120 leva because this is a business. And basically, that's how it functions. So the idea is that it's not only a place where people offer things, but it's a place where people can also search for specific goods. The idea behind the seeking section is basically because, in my opinion, and our opinion from what we've seen, a lot of people don't realize that they might have a skill or a rentable good that they have at home that somebody actually might need. And so when people ask for it, then they'll say, oh yeah, I see that, I can do that. I'll offer my services or I'll offer my good, no problem. So basically that's it. If anyone has any questions, we're more than happy.
If you want us to upload an ad for you, that's fine as well. Yeah. You can just write to Alek and we'll do it for you if you don't speak Bulgarian and you're having a hard time.
Yeah, full support for the AOBG community.
Whatever. We even had many ads that we uploaded like that. The people were too lazy or have no idea how to do it, and we just took their ad from somewhere else and put it up on the website, and they were absolutely pleased that they didn't have to move their little finger to do it.
Yeah, that's true. So here's one of the listings, by the way, of a company searching for this team manager position that we mentioned to you guys. This Grave company, with the description here and everything. But if you're using Google Chrome, you definitely can translate the website. It's almost, I could say, 95% accurate. But yeah, overall, that's it. Ivan, if you have questions, if anyone else has questions.
Yeah, so may I jump in? Thank you so much for the presentation, guys. And thank you so much for the genuine experience that you shared with us, because I believe that students really need that. We need to sense the, how to say, the motivation or the push for us to jump in the business sphere and just start working on something and not really wait for the perfect opportunity, because opportunities are opened by us, and just as you guys did, just started off and developed the project that you have until it reached the point to be released. And as you already said, it's better to set off just maybe like 90% done job, but it's better to start off and just work throughout the process. I think that this is a great example of turning a problem into an opportunity, because we are all aware of the fact that average salaries in Bulgaria are pretty low. So people are kind of pushed to be their own engineers and to fix everything at home for themselves, even though they do not have the certified competence, so to say. So this platform kind of closes the cycle of everything being their own engineers, because you guys offer the opportunity for people to jump in and help out where needed. And in fact, I would like to open the floor to any questions or recommendations. I still see that Professor Petkov is here, so I believe that he definitely has some recommendations on his behalf. But yeah. Professor?
Was that an invite to participate?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. So any professional would not give recommendations without a thorough study. We can share ideas, but in order to also share ideas, we need to understand more. So even the slightest one, you know that in marketing, in order to change or improve one thing, we have to have the whole picture. So any recommendation would have to come after an in-depth interview. I was following the presentation, but this is not something that I can right, ad hoc just start sending out ideas. It's not professionals, but would be glad to. I think that the idea is nice. I think that they found a way to satisfy a need. From my experience on startups, I can confirm that you never should wait for 100% ready, because actually you never are 100% ready.
Yep.
I think that the mission is nice. It's a simple idea and it's a helpful idea. So from here on, it's about execution and motivation and spreading the word so that more people come in and getting feedback so that you can always improve. And if I heard correctly, Bonev brothers are on track for that, and getting some fresh minds and some fresh ideas also helps, for which this cooperation with ABG can be useful. So sound good so far.
Nice to hear. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Professor. Mentioning fresh minds and LBG, the Business Club takes responsibility for communicating the job opportunities that you guys offer, or the internship opportunities, because we believe that this would be mutually beneficial for both sides, for the people that would like to gain some more experience, especially working on a startup. And for you, since you mentioned that you definitely need people for this kind of job at the moment. So yeah, we will communicate this and definitely keep in touch with you guys to like update you.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Anybody
I have
else?
a question for you. What's your most strongly represented service on the website?
Could you repeat that? Sorry.
The most used service.
At the moment, it's still quite in the beginning, but actually, one of the things that we've been seeing the most often is хамалски услуги, moving companies. So people who come to your apartment and kind of pick up all your furniture and whatnot and move it to other areas, and actually kind of a lot of things that deal with home improvement as well.
Now with the big construction boom, it's very hard to find workers. It's very hard to find people. Everybody is so busy running around like crazy.
I think the most interesting one that we've had so far is yoga classes.
Yeah, it was even a very special type of yoga. I don't remember exactly what it was.
Yeah, it was some spiritual healing yoga, I think it was. And she uploaded two listings, actually. One was for this, and the other one was for ISO
Yeah.
certifications.
Yeah, ISO certifications,
Yeah.
exactly. Very different, completely different, but she offers them both. So
Yeah.
she has the opportunity.
Interior designing is also one that seems to be catching on recently as well. Funnily, through a group on Facebook, I met and I introduced the platform to this one lady who did the interior designing to one of my favorite restaurants in Sofia, and I had no idea. So it was cool.
We have a lot of plumbers as well.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Well, heavy food, a lot of plumbers.
Are there many people in the IT sphere offering services?
Yes.
There's a lot.
For SEO and web development, there is quite a lot, and for digital marketing as well, there is.
Making websites, everything. You can check out the page.
Yeah.
If you have time.
We try. I mean, definitely it's there. When we're speaking to you, we're trying to advertise that it's really everything, because a lot of the people tend, when they see online business, they associate it exactly with marketing and web development and IT and whatnot. And we want to let people know that they should try to use it as well for physical things, for physical skills that they have. For example, if you're a carpenter, this is a great place to advertise your works. If you can make a table, or especially now there is with the what is it called? You know how they make the tables look like it's with an ocean inside, acrylic and whatnot. So that's something that's actually getting into our platform as well now. So it's everything, really.
Really everything. And that's what we want.
Yeah.
I have another question, guys. I'm sure that you are now looking for some investors in order to further develop your business, right? Can you tell us more about it? Like, how do you approach investors? Where do you find those investors, and so
on? Well, one of the people that's on our team, which is our advisor, is a lot more experienced than us. He's a lot older as well. He's HR specialist, basically. He has a very big HR company in Bulgaria. And so through him, he's helping us find potential investors and angel investors and all of those funds and whatnot. But we've also found, actually, once we started searching on Google, we started getting advertisements in Instagram and on Facebook. So it kind of came hand in hand. And so, I mean, doing the research, the way that we approach them is by contacting them by email and obviously applying to their platform. Each individual fund kind of has a different system where you need to upload your presentation, upload a description of the team members, what we do, what are our goals, of course, and what we're expecting as an investment and what they should be expecting.
Write a pitch and show it to as many people as you can before you go to investors, to make sure that you have included absolutely every little thing inside of it.
Yeah.
And definitely people who have had experience doing it before, or people who have experience in mergers and acquisitions, so that they can tell you exactly what they would be looking for in your presentation to be okay, to say, okay, I'm ready for that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's older people on this planet. Taking their experiences is definitely useful.
You could say it's like working with the professors in the university. They basically give you a project and you have to fulfill it according to the criteria. The closer you get to what they want, the more they're willing to invest in you. So you just have to hit all of their itches and scratches, and then they'll most likely take you on the team. Obviously,
without being a perfectionist, though.
Sorry?
Without being a perfectionist.
Well,
I can tell you, for example, that's something I wanted to mention when we were talking about it. Me and Alek, we make a pretty good team in the sense that he's a bit more of a perfectionist, and I am so far from it. I'm just the one that will jump in the puddle with his 2 feet, no problem. And we really balance each other out, and we manage to do things, I think, really well. So if you also work with somebody, really try to find somebody that's a little bit the opposite of you, and that can like, if you're the running horse, somebody to hold you back a little bit, and the same way, if he's the one that's holding you back, to run forward.
Yeah, that's actually one thing I spoke with Ivan. I remember when I mentioned to you in the meetings that he's the one who's the hustler, and he pulled me into this. So,
but
on?
a long time, I have never written a contract with a software company that much time in my life.
Yeah.
Like, it took us 4 weeks to get every single point, I would have signed it on the second day and just then whatever happens from there.
But one thing, actually, another advice, when you're doing contracts, especially with people who are going to be making your product, definitely check every single thing and do it as much as you can to be, if not win-win, more in your favor. Obviously, you're the client.
Yeah. Whoever pays plays the music, right? That's what they say in Bulgaria.
Well, one more question from me, if you don't mind, guys. So AOBG and universities as a whole teach us to focus on a niche market and to have a specific segment or target that we're gonna focus on. But you guys decided to broaden the horizon and reach out to as many people as possible. Is this valid for all of the freelance platforms or most of them, or is it something that you decided would work best for Bulgaria?
One thing that we actually found, a lot of the freelance platforms we've come across are more likely for online work. The only thing, and IT services, yeah. So more the one that we saw, which wasn't actually a platform, it was a Facebook group, is I think it's called Freelance.bg, something like this. Basically, in there, they're kind of already doing from a long time what we're doing on our website, but regarding the services, and it works pretty well. You have a bunch of students actually that are uploading things, all the way up to grandparents who are really uploading that they're carpenters and they can make you a table, or they can fix even a chair that broke or something like that. You know, everyone has a wild party here and there and things happen. But basically, yes, the best is to focus on a niche market. But in this case, where we focus on niche markets, I could say would be more in our advertising strategy. We have certain advertisements which we advertise to younger groups, certain advertisements which we try to advertise to the mid-age to elderly, and then the elderly, I mean, that's the hardest so far, but we're trying to find ways to attack them as well. So the marketing strategy is focusing niche. The overall business is quite broad.
It really depends on the situation, but definitely not even the niches. There's, I don't know if you guys have studied that in university yet, about red ocean and blue ocean. And just going into a market where there's too many players, it's not sustainable. At the end of the day, you're just going to be fighting for pricing and taking the market share. And if you're, I think that you guys, especially coming from a university like yours, you guys are young, innovative, just try to get those ideas out there. Don't just go into something because you know 15 other people that are doing it and it works.
Yeah.
Unless you're get in there and you have some R&D or something which is constantly innovating, it's not worth it. I think that personally that the good stuff happens when you go somewhere where nobody else plays.
That perfectly answers my question. Anybody else would like to jump in?
I also got a question.
We're listening.
What's your favorite feature on the website?
That's a good one. Do you have one?
Well, I have a favorite one, but it's not there yet, and it's gonna be the one where the people pay.
Yeah, that's
Of course.
But it's not available yet.
For me, I think that the most interesting, my favorite part is the offer scheme, where people can send counter offers to each other. So basically it gets down to that thing that I learned when I was a kid, is to constantly bargain. Whereby somebody applies for a job and they say, I'll offer it for you to this much. And then somebody else applies to it as well and they say, but I'll offer it for this much. And then you counter offer with the worker, they counter offer with the employer until they get to a thing, and then they accept the job and the job goes on. So for me, that's kind of a more unique thing, kind of taking something more everyday and personal and bringing it into a platform. It was an interesting thing and it was quite hard to do, but I think that it's going to be very beneficial. Thanks for asking that. That was an interesting question.
No problem. It was a great answer.
I have a question too. Would we apply for this job if we are freshmen?
Of course, I'm actually pushing you guys to do it.
Because I want to apply.
You do it right away. If you even want, write to me after this meeting and I'll help you get into it. One thing one of the reasons why we're coming to AUBG is because we want to give this opportunity to students. Students have an immense amount of free time, first of all. I mean, outside of the studies and the exams and whatnot, but you guys also are learning a lot of skills and you have the chance to build a huge portfolio because you have not so much experience, but you have a lot of knowledge. Also, a lot of hobbyists in AUBG. I remember when I was there were people that were entering the web development courses that could make websites 10 times better than the teacher. And when I was in university, I wanted to have a platform like this that I could upload a bunch of my skills when I was a kid, which was the digital marketing, the web development, graphic design, and whatnot. Unfortunately, it didn't. And this is why we're coming to you to kind of, I want to help, you know, Daren wants to help as well for the students, for when we didn't have that, to at least give you guys an opportunity to have this chance.
The biggest problem in university was I need more money. It happens with everybody. Everybody wants to go out to do things, go for a weekend with your friends. And I was just thinking, where can you go? Where can you show what you could do? Even if I had to go move furniture from from the guy next door's apartment, I would have done it for 20, 30 euros, whatever it takes. I mean, who says no to an extra buck?
Thank you.
So you're more than welcome to upload.
I will.
Okay.
Any other questions, guys? Do you have?
Or is it 9 o'clock?
Yeah. Well, I guess that if any other questions pop up, we might address them at a later point, reach out to you guys or anything. If any ideas pop up, most importantly, we'll make sure we reach out to you as well. But thank you once again for joining us tonight and giving us the opportunity to show the students what the genuine after university experience is. Thank you for being so honest with what you've been through in order to reach this point. And I would really like for us to keep in touch and just develop further relations on the matter.
Definitely.
Great.
We'd like to thank you as well for giving us this opportunity again, and thank you, Professor, for joining. It's an honor for me, and we'll keep in touch. And if anyone has any questions or concerns or needs help with the platform, reach out to us. We're on Facebook.
Or if you have any ideas that you want to get started, that's something I love, taking an idea and turning it into reality. So you can hit me up, and if it's good, I could help out with pleasure.
Amazing support. We're glad to hear that. Definitely gonna keep in touch. Definitely gonna keep on board for any other initiatives of such type if we have any. And yeah, wish everybody a great night and see you as soon as possible.
Thanks a lot, guys. Have a lovely night.
Thank you.
Thank you.